Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like content, hit the subscribe button, leave a like down below. We've been pretty slow on content lately because I've been waiting for a patch for the game so I could really get into it, trying to fix the creator wrestler and everything. So I've kind of just taken a break from covering the game, and there's not much wrestling game news going on right now. But anyway, I came across this article talking about a potential Nintendo Switch 2 version of WWE 2K25. So let's go over to this website and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here we are over on MSN.com of all places. And these people sound like they don't know anything about gaming whatsoever, but they bring up some good points. And I kind of think we're gonna get WWE 2K25 in the Nintendo Switch 2 showcase tomorrow. Because 2K they want to support the Switch 2. They supported the Switch 1 with NBA and PGA Tour, so why not a wrestling game? The fact that they still have a PS4 and Xbox One version of the game tells me that it shouldn't be too difficult to put it on the Switch 2. So anyway, let's read this real fast. All right, so this is a little older. This article is like 2 months old, but like I said, it brought up some good points, some talking points. All right, right here it says, is WWE 2K25 coming to Nintendo Switch? Let's talk about the first Switch, the current Switch. It says, unfortunately, there has been no official confirmation regarding WWE 2K25 launching onto the Nintendo Switch. And the game is out now, and clearly it's not coming to the Switch. It says, historically, WWE 2K games have not been consistently available on the platform due to hardware limitations. Right there. Boom. Which we all know, that's not new news, that's not a shocker. But here's where this whole video got sparked from. It says, however, speculation suggests that a port could be possible for the Switch 2 or as part of a delayed release strategy. Then it goes down here, if WWE 2K25 does arrive on the Nintendo Switch and may feature scaled down graphics and limited features compared to the current gen consoles, fans will need to keep an eye out for announcements from Visual Concepts or 2K Games regarding this possibility. Now, when they say a scaled down version, they're talking about the first Switch, not the second Switch that is being revealed tomorrow as of the making of this video. And then it goes into key features, and then right here it says why, and I pretty much came to this conclusion also, just like all of you, why WWE 2K25 on Nintendo Switch matters. It says a potential release of WWE 2K25 on Nintendo Switch would provide portable wrestling action for fans who prefer gaming on the go. The Switch's popularity and accessibility make an ideal platform for expanding WWE's games audience. However, ensuring smooth performance and maintaining core features will be critical for success. So, I think with the Switch 2 literally right around the corner, if it comes out no later than June, I think we're going to get WWE 2K25 on the Nintendo Switch 2, or of some version of it. Maybe it'll just be called WWE 2K, because there is that version coming to Netflix gaming later in the year, but it wasn't a numbered entry. It's literally just called WWE 2K, like mobile or something, because they're kind of like mobile games on Netflix, but they are working on a Netflix version, so technically a mobile version, right? So I'm curious if it'll be somewhere half step in between that version and the version we have now. Or are they going to wait until 2K26 and then that's when they put it on the Switch 2? I really hope the Switch 2 is powerful enough to where it doesn't feel like we're getting held back, like having it being ported to the last gen, because essentially they make the games for PS4 and Xbox One, and then they upscale stuff and add stuff for the next gen versions. That's what they did this year, and I feel like that really hurt the game from all the new stuff they're trying to add this year, like the island, messing with the Creative Superstar. The fact that they completely broke like anything you do with the faces on current gen consoles, PS5 and Xbox One, really kind of like has me worried. Like, I definitely want a Switch 2 version. If the Switch 2 version is comparable and has all the features of the next gen version, or PS5, Xbox Series X, then I'll probably switch to the Switch version, no pun intended, because I could make wrestlers while I'm watching TV, I could play it at work, I could play it on the crapper. It'd be much easier to get footage off of because I could have two different docks, one hooked up to my PC and one hooked up to my TV. The way I have it set up now is I have my old PlayStation 5 hooked up to the PC, and like an idiot, I bought the PS5 Pro, so I had that hooked up to my TV. So you can't move around. You can't be portable with it unless I go buy a PlayStation Portal, which relies heavily on your internet connection. Being able to play or create wrestlers on the go, even though they broke the Create a Wrestler currently, hopefully they'll be fixed. And that's another thing. What if they're waiting on this patch until the Switch 2 version comes out because they want to see all the bugs and have it ready to go for the Switch 2? There's so many possibilities that could happen. If we don't see WWE 2K25 in the next couple of days, mainly on the Switch, because it's going to be 60 minutes long tomorrow, the Switch 2 Direct tomorrow. If we don't see some sort of version of it on there tomorrow, on that Direct, then I don't think it's coming this year. It'll be next year. But they could also announce it after the Direct, like, hey, once the Direct happens, the floodgates are going to open up. All these games are going to get announced, release dates, everything. It's going to be like like pandemonium trying to cover all the stuff. So anyway, I just want to put this video out there because I found this article pretty interesting. I really hope that the Switch 2 does get a WWE game. I was hoping they'd make like a separate, like the Switch gets its own wrestling game, not necessarily the 2K series. But if it's comparable in power to, let's say, the Xbox Series S, then there's no reason why they couldn't put the current WWE 2K25 on the system. The only problem is because it's been out for, by the time the system comes out, probably a couple months, the window to the next game might be a little shorter. Does that mean the Switch version will come out later than the other versions every single year? That's why it's hard to tell. Like, they'd be idiots not to put it on there this year, but do they have the manpower? Do they have the resources to do so? Obviously, NBA will probably be on there. PGA Tour will be on there. Madden will probably be on there. All the other sports games are going to be on there. But wrestling, will the wrestling game be on there? If you look back at the Switch's history, they have like 3 wrestling games, and they're all terrible. Like, they have Chiki Chiki Boxy Pro Wrestling, which is like Japanese, like all the wrestlers are basically shaped like boxes. They're like voxel boxes, and that was the funnest wrestling game on the system. Then they have the AEW game, which it's fun, but it's just lacking so many features. And then they had the 2K18, which was terrible. It's one of the worst games on the system, and it took them a while to finally remove it from the shop. It's like, I'm surprised it took them so long. So what I'm trying to say here is that Nintendo desperately needs some sort of wrestling game on the system, because we went an entire generation without one good wrestling game on the Switch. The Switch pretty much covered everything else. It had every other kind of game you could possibly want on the system, but it didn't have a good wrestling game. And if you're a wrestling fan, Nintendo is not the platform for you. Hopefully, in the Direct tomorrow, that changes. And hopefully, we get some fixes for 2K25. Anyway, sound off the comments below. How do you feel about this? Do you want 2K25 on the Switch 2? I know I do. I have it on the Steam Deck, but every update made it run worse. And so I had to keep playing with the settings and stuff to get it to work right. So otherwise, I would just play it on there. So yeah, I really hope we get a Switch version because it'll be a set version. It'll have set settings and everything. It'll be easier to program for. And I could finally have a portable wrestling game since the PSP. Anyway, as I was saying, sound off the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay frosty.